Okay, so we're at it again. So I got my plasma table out. Basically, you can't see me, but you can see the table. I got the plasma table out of the back. I mounted this piece here, which is the Droid large cut indexing system. So, hopefully you can read it on camera. It's probably backwards, but anyway. So we got the indexing system on there. And what I did was I put the brackets on it that came with it. And the way that they're set up, they're on a little slide, so you can slide them to where you need them, which is what I did. And I got my clamps, and I basically leveled it here. I made it all one unit. We do still have to level the table a little bit. I took the feet off the table, and I got it to where it's somewhat level, but it'll never be perfectly level. So we're going to put casters on it, but when we use the machine, not only are we going to lock the casters, we're going to have to find a way to keep it from moving, because you don't want it to bounce a little, because it will throw your cuts off. So basically, I got this center to the table. I have it clamped up so we're nice and flat here. I'm going to put the slats back in shortly. I squared my brackets to the unit, to this piece here. This is the slide for the Droid, and it goes just like this. So the trick is, it stays centered. If we're going to cut a big piece, you can slide it over. You can slide it way over here. And I think it gives you another 48 inches of cut, and I forget what the depth is. I believe it's over 2 feet. So you can get a pretty good cut done with this little Droid. So as of right now, I think we're looking good. I do have to drill these and put the bolts in them. I just want to verify that my holes are not going to interfere with anything that's already there. I'm just going to finalize my measurement here, which appears to be 4 1/4. And we are 4 1/4 here, so we're good. So basically this thing is centered. The brackets are on nice. They're tightened at the bottom. It was a well thought out system, so you could adapt this bracket to pretty much, whatever you have. And then the Droid just sits right on top of here. It's pretty sturdy. The Droid isn't really that heavy. So that hole will be good. That hole will work. That hole will work. Let's see here. That's going to work. Nothing back there. That's going to work. That's going to work. So, this project is going to be just on a slight hold because the casters won't be here until tomorrow. They're supposed to be here today, but it looks like tomorrow. And we got a bunch of Temu stuff that came in, that final order that I made, the one where I had the little snafu. And believe it or not, they actually sent me the last part, or the last item, shipped today. Moments after I got that email, I did get $250 cash into my PayPal. And I was already able to transfer it, and everything went smooth. So I'm going to be on Team Temu for a little bit. Prices are good. The quality is really not that bad, and I'm going to show you a few things that we got. Let me just shut down for a minute and set back up. So last week I showed you I had gotten the air jack from Temu that had arrived. It only took me a few minutes to put together. The handle's a little short. Well, at least in my opinion it's short, but it is kind of comfortable when you go to move it around. It does feel okay. I already hooked it up to my compressor, went up and down with it, and it works quite well. And I'm going to pick it up instead of moving the camera 100,000 times. It is a little heavy, but here it is constructed. And the only thing that I found that's a little bit of an issue, let's see if I could put it up here without causing massive destruction. So the only thing that I found is back in here, there's this hose. And it runs through here and it runs to the bag. They give you a spring to keep that hose basically aligned in check. But because of the bolt, let's see here. Because of the bolt, it kind of gets trapped on the side of the bolt and it doesn't stay in the outline. If I do that, I could pull up here, and then the handle becomes more useful. So I can do it there. I can set it up in here. I probably got to loosen this a little. But basically, for the $100 or whatever this was, well worth it. The bag alone is worth that if you were to make one yourself. So that was that. And then I'm going to have to kind of play with the camera here a little bit. Sorry for making you dizzy. But this here is the hoist that will go in the back of my pickup truck. And basically, it's really nice. The finish on it is kind of like an old style hammered finish in red. It came packaged, I mean, if you looked at the box, you'd be like, oh my God, this thing is going to be all destroyed. It was packaged good on the inside. And for what it is, I think I paid 130 bucks for this. But don't forget, they gave me money back, so I paid a lot less. And I was really surprised. I think I spent just about $600, and they gave me $250 back today. $250 and a penny. And like I said, I already transferred it. Everything went well, so we know it's real. And these are the last two products that I just recently received. I did receive that last week, but it came late. It was late Sunday it came, so I just dragged it in here and I opened it up today. Once I set it up on my truck, we'll look at it. There's some mods that I might want to make, and we'll go over those together when the time comes. So right now, today's project is going to be finishing up this table, and we're pretty much, you can still see it, right? Yeah, we're pretty much there. And this bracket is nothing more than this, which is the Droid large cut indexing system. I did order a marker holder for the Droid. So when I wanted to do a verification cut, instead of cutting and wasting metal, it'll hold a Sharpie, and once I hit run, it'll actually draw it out on whatever substrate I'm using, which would be steel, of course. And it will draw it out for me. I can visually see that, yeah, okay, we're good. And then I can go ahead and cut it, you know, switch over to the torch and cut it, and not waste material, which is, it's great. I mean, my big machine will do that too. But I mean, for this little Droid, this little thing, with the addition to make things a little bit bigger, will I ever use this? Maybe, I doubt it. Most of my stuff is going to be brackets. So, you know, I was going to cut something today, but the problem is that I made the decision not to use my Eastwood machine because I would have to open it up and I would have to do my own wiring. And I don't want to touch something that's perfectly brand new in stock. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Hypertherm, which I do have a brand new cutting head that I did purchase for it in the whole idea of using it with. But the cutting head is about yay long, so the bracket I have here will not hold it properly. They do make an extended bracket, which I'm going to order today. And I'm also going to get the laser pen, which seems to be a really big option that everybody likes. Once I get these couple things, I think that I'll have pretty much, you know, everything to go with the Droid. I think I'll buy the corner marker. So this way, you know, if we've got to cut a corner, we've got to square something, we can do that with the machine, with the stylus. And I'm going to go through the website, and whatever little things I see there, I'm going to go ahead and, you know, and purchase, because it's really not super expensive. And here's an idea of, you know, what this thing is. Even, I know I showed you. But basically, you can move it. It slides. You know, when the machine tells you to slide it, it'll do cut 1, then it'll ask you to slide it to do cut 2, and you know, you could cut a bigger piece, you know, like if you're making a sign or something like that, you know, for hobbyists. Me, I'm going to be mostly brackets with this, so I'm probably never going to use the feature, but the thing with this is that it actually gave me the opportunity to mount it to my table, because this is, you know, pretty damn sturdy for, you know, for what it is, and I don't think it was expensive either. I forget what I paid for it. But I kind of got in on the bottom end of all this when the Kickstarter kicked in. I went for the Kickstarter, so I did save quite a bit of money. I saw the product, and I believed in the product. So, you know, it's a robotic arm. The guy had a good reputation, And you know, I had a little problem the other day getting it calibrated, but it was my own fault. But they did respond, you know, immediately to help and asking questions. But I told them I figured it out. It was my mistake. And here we are. So now we're setting up our table. I want to set this thing up one time. I didn't want to use my hypertherm on this, or is it the hypertherm? I always forget the one that I have. But I have the really big 80 amp one. It's massive. And I really didn't want to use that for this. I thought it was just too big, and it belongs to my real big table. But Thermodyne or Hypertherm, who knows? It's one of those. But we'll know once I bring it in here, which I'll probably do later. So that's where we're at today. We're just going to concentrate on this. I don't think I got anything else in. These are the legs that I took off of this, which are pretty cool legs, self-leveling. They actually have a little play in them, so they kind of self-level. So this is the one that I took off, and I'll be putting casters on there, which suits my purpose a lot better. And like I said, they were going to be here today, but it looks like they're not. So here's something else that I purchased for this. Actually, it could be even for when I'm MIG welding or whatever. And this is a magnetic clamp. So let's see, let's find a piece of metal here. There's always metal around, and when you need one, there isn't. Let's grab something. Oh, right next to me it was. Let's just grab one of these. This is one of the slats for the machine. So, see right now, nothing. Tighten it up a little, and it becomes magnetic. You put your ground here, and you're good to weld. When you're done, just unscrew it, and that's it. When you want it a magnet again, you're good to go. When you want no magnet, you unscrew it. So, pretty cool item. I got this on Amazon. I think it was like 30 bucks. And this actually will help, especially when I start welding on the frame. You don't want those wires on top of you when you're welding. And the ground always seems to get in the way. So, that's a little thing for that. I'll probably buy a couple more of those, so this way I could actually leave one with the table, and I could leave one with the MIG welder. Another thing, I need to set up a stand or something to move the MIG welder around. I'm thinking of setting up the shelves underneath the setup table. Let's see if we could get a good sight of that. So, a little bit of a mess. I went through my storage and I found that I have a ton more of these clamps, you know, more of these stops. You know, I had a whole piece that dropped. You know, I had a lot of stuff that goes with this table, so I said, you know what, let me just bring it out there. It makes no sense to leave it, you know, in storage. So there's that. And I didn't weld these yet because I didn't get rebar yet. You remember the fiasco with the fiberglass rebar. And I think I'm cutting my head off here. Let's see if I could go back a little. I could see if I'm in the shot here so I can see what I'm doing. Alright, I guess you can see me now. So basically, I'm thinking about putting the shelves underneath here, setting up my welder underneath here, maybe take my other plasma cutter, the Eastwood one, and set it up here or next to each other, I don't know, somewhere under there, and get my grinders hung up, and anything related to welding, maybe a little place to hang my helmet, and maybe a couple of holders for the torches, because there's another tool that I'm bringing here. I have basically a brand new Lincoln 180 TIG welder. It sits at my shop, we never use it, and all it does is collect dust. So I think I'm going to clean it up and bring it here. And that's on wheels, so we won't be putting it on this. That's a nice unit, and it's something that we're going to need, especially when we start cutting up the Ford. So I guess we'll get a little bit of action on me putting the table together today, and I think that's about it. I think I have a delivery coming tomorrow for a Timu press, one of the presses that I bought. which will come in handy for some ideas that I have. And I guess that's it for now, guys. I'm going to see if I can set up some kind of little, you know, some work videos here today, and try to get a few things done. But I do got to get all these tools in order to be able to progress to the next several steps. So the Arc Droid is going to be one of the steps. Oh, I know what I got to show you guys. Almost forgot. Okay. Sorry for the crazy camera work, but the long-awaited Headman headers, so I can start the exhaust on the coffin car. So this is what I was waiting for. See, it's a flange, basically a header flange, and it starts out with these 2.5 tubes on there, which are going to help me because it's less work that I got to do. So now we just got to get a, you know, the way it looks like I'm going to have to get like maybe a 2x5 or 3x5 square tubing. Lock up the bottom, you know, cut it and block the sides, and then I'm going to have to mount this on there. I'm going to have to drill these holes, and then the holes for the mounting, and that's the next thing. You know, how am I going to screw this to that piece? Can I use the steel inserts that I could put in, you know, kind of like a rivet, a rivsert or whatever they call them. Everybody's got a different name for them. You know, can I use those and think it'll work? I don't know. So I think we're going to have to experiment with that. We're going to have to give it a try and just go from there. But basically, we're going to get these mounted. I have to get the, I couldn't buy the metal because I didn't know what size these things really were. They didn't give you like actual dimensions. But it looks like we're going to have to go with like a 2x5, 3x5, something like that. So this way we'll mount it, and then that the piece that this is mounted on will get welded to the bottom of the car. Let's see. Yeah, you should be able to see me. So basically, these look like they're going to end up, the frame is right there. So I think we might be able to get these right around here. But we're going to figure out where we're going to put them with the coffin on when I actually do the work. We're going to take the coffin off because it's going to be easier for me to mount what I got to mount, and also to run a line, an exhaust tube to the engine, where the engine is. So we're going to need to play around with this, and we'll figure it out, because I believe, I want to say the front of the engine is probably about here. So this would put us for about here for that, which I think is going to put us in a good spot, because we have to stay in front of here. We can't block this, otherwise it's in the way, and you know, if the car's hot at that point and you go to grab this and not paying attention, you get to burn your arm. That would not be good. I mean, even though I burnt my arm probably 1,000 times in my lifetime. So yeah, those came in, and it was quite a surprise to actually find them at my door. They said they were coming, but I really didn't believe it. So anyway, here we are. We might bag the back. Maybe we'll get rid of the springs. I don't know yet. So I'm thinking about bagging it, but again, who knows? There's so many things that I'm changing that I'll never get done if I continue doing that. All right, guys, let me get a little cleanup done in here, and we'll see if we could get some action on putting this table together. Okay, so I'm sure this is nothing exciting, but being that we're all lined up now, I have everything set up here so I could drill. I did one hole already. Just wanted to make sure my drill was sharp. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the hardware in. Good to have a sharp drill bit. Alright, so we got those holes drilled, and we have really nice hardware here that they provide. So I'm assuming, I'm wondering why they don't give us a double. Let me take a look here real quick. No, they only give us one washer, but that's okay. This isn't anything critical. So we put it in there. But you know what we could do? We you could actually, the washer here, for aesthetics, it's a lock washer back here, and put the nut. So basically, we've got a total of 6 holes. 3 are drilled already on this side here. And we'll get those tight. Like I said, not a real exciting video of me drilling here, but just to show you all the little things you need to do to get, it's not just finishing the project, it's also getting all the tools ready, trying to buy the tools, buying the tool that's going to work, and sometimes you got to go the inexpensive route, and you want to make sure the tool's going to work for you. So far I've been lucky with the inexpensive route. It hasn't really bitten me in the butt. But but for my shop though, I never go the inexpensive route. I always buy the name brand drill tool, because that's going to be used like every day, and it's going to be, and it's in a very rough environment. I was hoping to get in here and get a lot of these little things done during the week, just an hour a day, but work has been very psychotic. We've been really busy. I know a lot of guys aren't, but we're fortunate to be extremely busy. Let's get these done now. I keep all my drills sharp with the drill doctor. I have 2 of them. I have the first version, and then I have a newer version. They work quite well. Ooh, that one got me. Okay, a little burr there. Yeah, sometimes with little burrs, if you're not careful, you'll break your wrist. These little Milwaukee drills are quite strong. Again, Milwaukees are my go-to tool when it comes to electrics. I have a go-to for each thing that I do. I think I talked about it last week. And my hand tools definitely snap on. I've got others, like on my service trucks. If I got to really rely on the tool, it'll be a snap-on. Like the wrenches, I think I have a set of Huskies on there. No, S&K, Huskies and S&Ks, I got both. Or no, not S&Ks, Sunex. And the Sunex products do hold a guarantee, and they do honor the guarantee quite well. I've had a few things that I broke, and I had no problems contacting them and them taking care of the guarantee, warranty, whatever you want to call it. So, you know what, before we put this one in, when we figure out what we need, I'll be off camera here for a second. I have to look through my tools here. And I'll be back momentarily. Okay. Give me a minute there, and I'll be back on. Okay, I got everything I need, so we can start tightening things. this last one in. What I want it to do. Lock washer. Okay. I had my little gun here someplace. And what did I do with it? Oh, right behind me. I don't think I hate about these projects, because I like doing them, but I hate the mess that it creates. Okay, so do that. And let's tighten things up. And of course, we need an extension now. And of course, I gotta go to the toolbox. I got my little pile of mess here, but and again, snap-on tools. Only thing that I prefer to work with. Oh, made a mistake here. This goes on here. These are the locking style. These are the locking style extensions, which I like and don't like at times. Depends. I have all types. Okay, let's see how this goes. I gotta get a little bit better lighting in this shop. I started, but I never really finished the lighting. Okay, that side's done. We'll take those clamps off altogether when we're completely done. If you're gonna buy tools, always try the best, buy the best that you can. If you're not doing it professionally, you don't really need snap-on. Well, try to get a good quality. Like I said, Sunex are fairly inexpensive and they're really decent quality. I've never broken anything except like the adapters for like the 1-inch guns. Other than that, I never really broke one of the hand tools. I have no problems with them. And the warranty, they do hold up to it. Alright guys, so this is tight. Let's get this out of the way first. I had those tight. One thing I hate about these things is when they spring back and catch your hand, it hurts. Okay, so that's on there nice and tight. Maybe we will temporarily put the arc joint on there. The only thing I'm a little nervous about is the arc joint going to make it back heavy? I don't think so, but just, we'll try, and we'll go from there. I'm just going to disconnect some of the things from the arc joint to make it easier to move. Let's see here, that's on, that's good. We unplug it, and we slide it. Ooh, didn't want to do that, but I did. for a minute. And we're going to see how stable it is. That's my biggest concern. Okay, great. They give you the alignment pins there. Let's see. Yeah, actually it's okay. Once it's on the wheels, we'll have to see. Good. Good. Okay, and I believe wing nuts go on here, which I have right here. Kind of excited to see this come together after quite some time loaning it and not setting it up. I'm going to have to take this back off when I do the casters. But let's just look at it and hook it up. And move the arm around and see how she does. I was worried about this being a little too heavy for the bracket, but I can see that they actually built this out pretty well. They didn't require a third bracket, so. And I'm sure he had these type of little tables in mind when he made this. I'm not sure, but that's not tightening good, but it's alright. Good enough. There we go. I'll keep it most likely in that position there. And she doesn't feel, you know, top heavy or anything like that. I'm going to put the slats back in for now just to kind of get the overall picture. But a lot of this stuff is going to have to come back off. These slats are heavy for this little table. And the beauty is when you wear these slats out, you could just buy this in long pieces, flat stock, cut your own. You don't have to purchase them. Well, I mean, you gotta purchase the metal, but it's nothing special. It's just a piece of metal. You get them at places like metal.com. You know, right online you could get this stuff. Just gotta get this piece of tape off here. When I draw my center lines and reference lines and things like that, I always like using this blue tape. This makes it easier to see than, you know, putting it on raw metal or whatever, and then you're sitting there hoping that you're seeing the right thing. Tell you what, this blue stuff sticks. There we go. I'll tell you, I didn't even really heavily clean that metal or nothing, but got my little garbage pile right there. Okay, where was I? Put the slats in. Just add a little weight too to keep it like counterbalance. But I'll probably add some counterbalance to this, especially when I do the casters, because I don't want this thing to topple backwards. That would be a hell of a loss. And this was a nice little table. I don't remember if this was a clutch table. I'm not sure what it was. I think it might have come, I got it through Amazon, but I think it might have come technically through Eastwood, because Eastwood does sell through Amazon. Alright guys, so basically when the Android is doing, or I keep calling it an Android, when the Arc Droid is doing its thing, here it goes. Bing, 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 bing. You slide it way over to the other side, and it goes way out here where there is no table, but we're going to keep it basically centered. Yeah, we're going to keep it centered. And like I said, when it has the casters on it, we're going to need to stabilize this. So I think some counterbalance in the front is going to be a plus. I think what I'll do is I'll put maybe I'll get some, I have a lot of metal weights from my workout days, which were a long time ago. Maybe I'll just put a couple of heavy weights up front there to kind of counterbalance this. This isn't heavy, but I'm just worried about it falling backwards or whatever if we're moving it around. And, you know, it would just be an expensive loss for that to happen. You know, something I definitely don't want to happen. All right, so I'm going to call this project 99.9% done. Casters tomorrow, and if I get a minute, I'll just pop a quick video. I'm just, you know, more drilling and, you know, screwing the casters in. We can level it at that point. We'll check its stability and just go from there. All right, guys. I'll see what else I'm going to do today. We'll go ahead and we'll throw it on video, and hopefully, you know, you enjoy just watching things get done. Thanks again. All right, guys. So, little project I did yesterday was I put shelves underneath my setup table, and I have my welder underneath there. This is the Hypertherm unit that I was talking about. It is a Hypertherm Pro Max 85, I believe it's called. It tells you right here. I'm sorry, Power Max 85. So it's an 85 amp cutter, and I do have to put a plug on here and set it up so this way it'll work. And yesterday I actually ordered a control cable for the Arc Droid. It plugs into the Arc Droid and it goes right to the back of this machine here. But one thing I didn't realize is when I purchased the machine torch, look how big this thing is. This is actually the same torch I have on my big CNC machine. But gonna have to use it on here because my other cutter, my other plasma, doesn't have the provision for the CPC, which is the controller from the cutter to the Arc Droid. And by not, you can't use it without opening it up, and then I'm going to have to basically, I would have to open it up, basically start connecting wires. I don't want to do that. I don't want to start, you know, ripping into a brand new machine because it doesn't have the correct port. So this machine here has the correct port, and this is the cable. And I actually purchased, I don't know if you can see in there. Yeah, you can. So basically this plugs into the back of the machine like so, and I actually purchased an additional one yesterday of these from the Arc Droid company, not realizing. See, just nice and simple, just screws right in there. And now it's connected, and these ends go to the back of the Arc Droid, so now the unit becomes one. It can communicate, so when the torch needs to light, the Arc Droid sends a signal, it lights, and so on and so forth. It calls for air, it does everything it's supposed to do. So what I was thinking is maybe making some type of a bracket and hanging this here to counterbalance the weight of the Arc Droid, but this thing is heavier than the Arc Droid, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with all that yet. Maybe I'll make an extra foot in the back that I'll just swing out when I'm using it, just for safety reasons. So that's going to solve my my cutting with the Arc Droid, and I did order a much larger. Let me see if I can find it here. It's on the end of the torch. So I had this torch originally set up, which is from my Eastwood, and that is the holder for it. And this holder here is too small. So I ordered the bigger one, which is a little taller, so it'll hold that bigger torch much, much better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this apart, and I'll save this. I'll save that torch holder for, you know, a number of reasons. So basically, that's settled there. So let's turn around here now, and I just got to get some cable. And this is the setup table. that you guys know, have seen. And I have my welder under here, so I'm going to take my plasma cutter, my Eastwood cutter, and put it in this next section here. And I do have an additional welder, which is a little bit smaller. It's an Eastwood, so this is my main welder here. I really like the Miller welding machines, and that's my go-to. But I did buy the small Eastwood for some little jobs that I was doing around the house, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money, and I didn't need anything like this at the time, I mean. But now, this is an extra welder that I had on one of my service trucks. All my service trucks have, you know, the gigantic welders, the gas-powered ones. And we do our MIGing with a suitcase. So basically you run your leads, you connect the suitcase, and then you do your wire feed aluminum, or you do steel, you know, metal. And that's about it for that. So I'm going to go into my storage shed. I'm going to grab my, I think they call it a Power Max, or I don't know what they call it in Eastwood, a VersaCut 60. So it is the biggest one that they have that I purchased. And I'm going to put that on that side there, so this way if I got the little hand torch work, you know, it's available to me. Alright guys, let me go get it and we'll set it in. Okay, I got the VersaCut here, the VersaCut 60, my Eastwood plasma cutter. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to give it its new home, which is basically under this part of the table. And that fit quite well. And I'm going to recess it back a little bit for the simple reason that, like I did this welder, for the simple reason that the leads stick out, and I don't want to run into them because you can end up breaking them or getting hurt or whatever. So we just tuck them back a little. And this one is, you know, good to go for now. And on this one, it looks like we have room to put the other MIG welder, the small one, which I think would be a good idea. I'm going to pull these out because these kind of stick out kind of deep. So, you know, we don't always need the superpower of this thing. And both of my welders actually will run on 120 current also if I wanted to. I'm well equipped here with the current that I need. So I'm going to run both of them on 220. I'm going to run the VersaCut on 220. I think the VersaCut also runs on 110, but I could be wrong. I have to look into that. But I could be wrong, I could be right. I really don't know. I really never used a VersaCut. So basically, this is going to be our rolling welding ensemble. All right, let me go get the other unit. Okay, I'll tell you what, this little Eastwood MIG 135, I'm not sure if this is a 220 model or not. It has just a regular 110 plug on it. I thought there was an adapter, I could be wrong. I just got to kind of look through what I have sitting inside the storage for it. So I did find this one, this adapter here. Let me get a little closer. As you can see, that's a 30 amp 220, but on the other end, it's a regular, you know, 120 volt, 110 volt, and that is definitely for the plasma cutter. I'm not sure if it internally, automatically will change the voltage as my Miller does when you do this kind of stuff. It's a handy thing to have if you're in a jam and you got to do some work somewhere and they don't have 220. It won't be as efficient or as strong, but actually it'll still be strong. It'll be a little tiny bit weak, not enough to notice, but it's a good option to have. And I'm glad I got it on my welder and on my plasma. Okay, this guy's a little bit heavy, and I think I have this one set up right now on flux core. Because what I was doing, I couldn't really carry the bottle around. Look at this, fits right in. Tell you what, that's heavy for that little guy. Very heavy for that little guy. So basically, the only thing I don't like that I think I'm going to switch, and I think I'm going to do that right now, is I would like to put the MIG on the other side. You know what? I think it's lighter to take the plasma cutter out. The reason I'm saying to switch them is so this way I could access the spool easier. It was easy to get them in here, now it's harder to get them out. Here we go. Oh, man, these things are heavy for these little items. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and jockey this one over. And again, I'm going to sit it back like I did the Miller, for the simple reason that we need to make room for the torch because of the way it sticks out, so we don't run into it and damage it. You know, you might be walking past it or pushing something past it with a little bit of weight, like an engine or something, you catch that, you'll end up snapping this, and that'd be, you know, a fairly expensive screw up. I might jockey it back just a little bit more, but right now I'm just showing you just my ideas of what, you know, what I'm trying to do just to kind of get the garage a little more organized, and also to work with the new tools that I'm putting in here. That's it. I think it fits really nice. And I'm not going to hang the cords on the outside. I'm trying to keep everything somewhat concealed so we're not walking into it, getting snagged on it. Or if I'm moving this table around, I'm not, you know, snagging the cords on anything else. So one thing I'm going to do here on this table is I'm going to make some bushings to go across and run a couple of long bolts. And this way, this table is a little tighter at the bottom here. So this way it becomes, and I'm going to run one up here too, I think. I'm going to have to drill up here, but I think I'm going to run them up here too, just to kind of make the table as one. Because I was like, you know, I could take it apart. I don't want to take it apart because this is it's perfect. And the price was right. Now, for my MIG welder, I'm just looking here, I have the gauges for the gas, but one thing that I kind of noticed, and I don't know why, maybe I bought extra, I don't know, because I do dumb things like that sometimes. I have another gauge set in here, I'm not sure what it is. Yeah, it's another gauge set for, as you can see down in here, it's another gauge set for the MIG. And the Miller has its own gauge set, so I got two gauge sets for the MIG welder. I'm not sure why, but it's okay, because they break all the time. Well, here they probably won't, but at the shop they constantly break. Because we're very rough down there. I mean, we don't mean to be, but it is a truck shop, and things get a little crazy at times, and you know, there's a lot of energy. We're moving fast most of the time. All right, so that takes care of that. I showed you the hypotherm, and you know, we're slowly getting there. And let me shut off a minute. Anyway, guys, I'm going to be a little lazy today. It's really super humid out. My asthma is acting up, and I'm having a hard time breathing. So we brought a few more things in here. We got our storage shed a little messy right now because I had to move a few things to get things that we needed in here. This I actually had in my house garage. Can you see it? Yeah, the hypotherm was in my house garage, so that wasn't so bad. I just picked it up and walked it out here. Actually, I put it on a dolly. I think it's heavy. So, you know, slowly and surely, I guess our next project is going to be a little neatening up here. We have a press coming in today. FedEx is delivering it sometime today from Temu. From that original where I went to the checkout and it actually checked out and took the money. But surprisingly enough, they did return the $250 as a bonus to me yesterday, and that worked out well. I was able to actually take that, because that's kind of like my play money. So I kind of took that and reinvested in some clamps and a few things that we can use in here. And there's still some left over. I didn't spend all of it. I'm not, I don't like to throw money away, but if I need something, I want to buy something that's good. When it comes to the clamps, I prefer the Irwin vice grips, but I ended up with the Milwaukees. The Milwaukees are a little bit more money, but it's all that Home Depot had. And I needed them to do the Droid project yesterday, so it is what it is. I mean, I use those all the time, so they'll never go to waste. They'll never just sit around. Oh man, I'll tell you, I'm having a hard time breathing today, and the thing that I'm out here late today, that's why I didn't really do much. I've been going crazy trying to get my 3D printer to work. I've owned the thing forever. I never even turned it on. So today I turned it on and I'm trying to figure it out. It's a Creality. It's a Creality Ender 3 S1 Pro. So it's a decent Creality unit. But I can't get it to communicate with the with the cable. What's USB-C on one end and the standard USB on the other. It just doesn't see it. And I tried the driver, and Creality's obviously not there today. I tried the AI assistant, that went nowhere. And also, I was really trying to just put everything on an SD card and put it into the printer and just see, if it recognizes it and stuff like that. Because for the Arc Droid, we have this controller, and I don't want to leave it just laying around, so I want to print up a case for it, and then put like a monitor swivel on there, so this way it'll be like back there. I can push it out of my way when we're working, so it doesn't get arcs and sparks. It's designed to stay close, but I don't want to do that. And the cover I want to print, the case I want to print also has a cover, so I can always cover it when we're not using it and just protect it. But yeah, I'm feeling lazy today sitting in this chair, but it is what it is. You can only push yourself so far. And besides that, I'm sure you guys have noticed that sometimes my eye plays games. I have Bell's palsy, and it kind of beat me up a little bit, and that's why sometimes I don't like talking too long in front of the camera, because my eye starts to kind of close. So, just a few things, that happen to you as you get old. But I just turned 64. I am definitely tired, and I'm still putting in killer hours at work, and I try to do my best out here to give you some content. But I think next week we're going to start with the exhaust, and I just got to get the material for that. And that's about it, guys. There's not much more today. I want to go back and try to figure out that Creality printer. I'm trying to get my son to help me, but he's busy with something at the moment, so he can't help me. But I have the software I kind of figured out. I kind of have the thing ready to actually print. And we would have to do a test print to make sure that what I see on screen is, what I'm going to have in hand. So hopefully by tonight, if I could solve that. I won't be able to print though, because stupid me never bought filament, or I thought I did and I don't know where I put it. So I'm going to order some filament today. And we're probably going to go ahead and make a red case, or maybe even a yellow case, for the simple reason that we're just going to try to keep with the color scheme of the tool. And I think the yellow would be nice because it's something that you would visibly see immediately, whereas the red, is not, as far as I'm concerned, safety yellow is the best safety color made. You can't, if you miss that, then you're definitely blind. But I think that's it, guys. So hopefully next video, and if I solve it sooner, I'll come out here and I'll add to this video, and we'll have a case for the, well actually I think we won't have a case. You know why? I keep forgetting I don't have filament. But I think it's going to be quite a long time for the thing to print. I think the AI estimated something like 10 or 13 hours, some ridiculous amount of time. So we'll see. I was getting so aggravated that I was just going to order a brand new printer, but I hate to waste what I have, being that I've never used it. And I'm sure there's a simple solution, but I just don't know it. So hopefully we'll figure it out. Alright guys, if I don't add to this video, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you can. I would really appreciate that. And I'm going to try to put some more work type content in. And I'm really excited about getting these last few things done on the coffin car. This week I'll be delivering my ramps from my shop to here for the lift. So next week we'll probably realistically be working on that lift and moving things around here. But it depends how hot it is. If it's super hot, I'm not going to do it. And it just, I can't push myself to the brink of disaster. I mean, I push myself, but I know when I have to stop. And like today, I really need to stop. But I think that's about it. So, like I said, if there's anything, I'll add to this video. If not, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Please ask questions. And we'll see you either shortly or next week. And again, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it.